Shalom. Giving all praises, glory, and honors unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, rest of the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother, the priest Desire Warren from GMS Atlanta. Back with another edifying video. Another Motb update. And more countries around the world are setting up for the digital ID. This agenda for this global reset, for this digital shift that the elites have been doing over the last few years since the pandemic, it's moving quick. It's like a different country every day is getting on board with the program. You know, you had recently the Chief Ephraim,
90.
formerly of the HOI, he did a video, and brothers here at GMS spoke on it. He did a video where he said he doesn't see the Motb, the mark of the beast, being a microchip implant, because he doesn't see where all these other countries and other nations making that move, you know, following America or following Europe, the so-called white or Edomite countries. He said he doesn't see these other countries doing what America and the other Edomite countries in Europe are doing. But I beg to differ. See, the problem is with you Israelites that come against GMS, when we speak on the prophecy of the Motb, and when we speak on the microchip implant being the Motb, your problem is you don't read and you don't study and you don't research. You're too busy lining your pockets. You're too busy making rap music videos, going to the studio, being a hip-hop Hebrew. You know, you're too busy jet-setting around the world, setting up schools and churches and buying land instead of getting into the scriptures. Okay? The ancient prophets did nothing in comparison to what you Israelite groups outside of GMS are doing. They didn't sell garments, okay? They didn't merchandise a Yahushua brand of sandals, you know. They didn't market the truth, okay? And before y'all get ignorant, yeah, Yahushua did say, take your garment and sell it. He was talking about for money, for your hire, for staying somewhere. Because the disciples and the apostles back then would travel back and forth. No, you Israelites, you actually sell the truth. You know, you go to some, AliExpress and, you know, you buy T-shirts in bulk. Now they sell you T-shirts with the fringes and ribbon and blue already on it. And then you can just put your Israelite group logo here. You know. Meanwhile, the ancient prophets did just what GMS does speak the word. The reason why Chief Ephraim and these other Israelites from the IUIC, IGBK, the reason why y'all can't see the Motb prophecy being the microchip is because, well, number one, the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, is not dealing with you. Ultimately, you know, you just ain't got the Holy Spirit, dog. You just ain't got it. You're an Israelite, but you don't have that eye salve. And then number two is because You're preoccupied with your own vainglory. And you consider this truth something to gain influence off of. You're not really a prophet. You're not really into the scriptures. You're not really into this in your real life because it will reflect in your works. Do you all have a level of belief? Yeah, I can see that. I believe so. But the scriptures say that you shall know a tree by its fruit. And from the fruit that Chief Ephraim, ISUPK, IUIC, Peace of and other Israelite groups are producing, it's corrupt. You don't have the 100% truth because you don't know how to take real world happenings and marry them with the scriptures and get edification from it. So let me go over these different countries around the world that are changing over to a digital society. So this first country here is Malawi. Okay, and let's look that up. Let's see where Malawi is. All right, I believe it's an island country or island nation, but we'll see. Let's look it up. Malawi. Okay, it's a landlocked country. So it says Malawi is a landlocked country in southern Central Africa, or Africa. Now, I've done plenty of videos on the ID for Africa meeting that they had recently, where all these different countries on the continent of Africa, because Africa is a continent, by the way. You got a lot of stupid Jake talking about Africa as a country. Okay, on the continent of Africa, the different countries, what is it, over 50? They're all changing over. The majority of them are changing over to a digital ID economy system. So now, Malawi is one of the latest in the news reports. It says Malawi, a landlocked country in southern Central Africa, in the Great Rift Valley, on the western shore of Lake Nyasa. Population 17 million. Capital Lilongwe. Official languages English and Nyanja. All right, and I'm sure you have Israelites scattered amongst them over there. So it says Malawi's boosts digital economy with connectivity, plans 2 million digital ID enrollments. This is from June 24th, 2025. Today's date is June 26th. Okay? So let's read some of this. It says Malawi has set a target of enrolling 2 million people in its digital ID program in the current phase of a digital transformation project backed, right? Because Chief Ephraim mentioned about the white countries are doing it, but these other countries, he don't see them doing the same thing that what America and these other white countries are doing. Well, listen to who they're backed by. Okay, backed by the World Bank and the UNDP. Who's in control of the World Bank? Esau. Let's look up the World Bank. When you look up the World Bank, an international banking organization, who's in control of the banks? Esau. Established to control the distribution of economic aid among member nations and to make loans to them in times of financial crisis. So they're loaning this money to these African nations so they can set up a digital ID. And best believe that Esau has his hand in all of this. See, they don't do everything openly. Matter of fact, the majority of the things that Esau does is behind the scenes. So Chief Ephraim should feel stupid once he looks up this type of information. If he does the research and study, he'll see, yep, all these other countries around the world, not just white countries, okay, so-called white countries, right, Edomite nations, are setting up digital ID, which is leading what? To the Motb, which is the microchip, the implant. All right, the biometric implant. So it says the country's digital economy has already witnessed a major boost in the past 8 years, thanks to increased internet connectivity. So they're expanding the internet over there in Africa. Okay? It says, which is facilitating the delivery of digital public services as well as enhancing the efficiency of government procedures. Now, let's look up digital public services as well. Because the things that we get, you know what, let me just look it up. Let's look this up. Digital public services. Public sector digital services enables governments to deliver personalized, frictionless, let's see, a global consultancy. Here we go. Public. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Let's do this. Search the web. All right. Digital public services refer to the use of technology, particularly the internet and digital platforms, to deliver government services and information to citizens. This approach aims to enhance efficiency, transparency, and accessibility in interactions between governments and the public. Examples include online tax filing, driver's license renewal, and applying for permits through virtual platforms. So pretty much giving is going to give access to the different citizens in their countries, mainly these poor rural villages in these different African countries, because not all these countries are as developed as America or Hong Kong or London. So by giving them more access to the internet, that gives them more access to government help. And eventually what's going to happen is you're going to need the Motb, the implant, the biometric implant, the implantable microchip, in order to continue to obtain and use those government services. It says the Malawi Digital Foundations Project, funded by the World Bank, is responsible for this development. So Esau is the one that's pushing the system. Through the World Bank, it aimed to offer better quality and more affordable internet, which is bringing benefits to young people, government entities, businesses, as well as institutions in the higher education sector. So they're setting up the digital ID over there in Malawi, which is in Africa. Okay? Let's look at the next country. Okay, now this is dealing with Australia. Australian MDL holograms, not a security feature despite state guidance. Yeah, because Australia is also another place that's pushing the digital ID system. Okay? You all need to understand this, because we're living in a time where Bible prophecy is rapidly being fulfilled. Okay? It says digital holograms and other visible security features do not ensure the integrity of digital IDs, including Australia's digital driver's licenses. And they have the same thing here in America. Digital driver's license or mobile driver's license. Matter of fact, I've seen an ad all this week of them pushing it. Apple ID, your Apple ID, your Apple Wallet is now servicing, putting your driver's license, attaching your driver's license to your wallet. And it's been doing that, I believe, for months now. But they're just advertising it because they want to push, through gradualism, they're going to push the Motb digital ID system, a digital wallet system. Okay? If you look up EU, the European Union, and the digital wallet, all kind of information is going to pop up. Okay? It says here, but they underpin advice from states that the mobile driver's license can be used for identity verification through visual checks. So they're saying that's not a security feature. I just wanted to get the point here about the digital IDs. Okay, let me read this. Service Victoria, which is Victoria is out of is in Australia. Service Victoria and Vic Roads each suggest that the holograms on its mobile driver licenses. So they got hologram technology in their driver's license, digital driver's license. That the holograms on its MDLs provide assurance that the digital ID is valid. Guidance from Victoria's state government advises justices of the peace to scan the mobile driver's license QR code to verify it if you need to after viewing the photo on hologram. So I guess, people were showing the picture and the hologram on their ID, but it's not really secure enough. So what are they going to do? Eventually, they're going to move to the implant. It says, but a bar in Mornington, Victoria, has publicly announced that it will no longer accept the digital IDs as proof of age due to the large number of fakes encountered. So there's still kinks and hacks that they have to work out of this digital ID system in order for it to run smoothly, for other countries to accept these things. So that's why we believe that the next thing they're going to do is they're going to switch over and change to getting the implant. Then nobody can hack you. Nobody can commit digital fraud against your identity, because your identity will be literally inside of you. You will be your identity, and your identity will be in you via an implant. So it says South Australia's guidance makes clear that the animations prove only that the credential is not a screenshot, and instruct relying parties to validate the mobile driver's license by scanning the barcode. So I guess there's a hologram that pops up, but that's not supposed to be for you to make a valid decision and verification that somebody is who they say they are. So they still want you to scan the barcode on the back. Well, next they're going to scan your hand with the chip in it. It says Service NSW says state mobile driver's license, MDLs, can be verified by having the license holder swipe down to refresh the date and timestamp, or by scanning the QR code. And that's a big thing now. QR codes for everything. I went to a restaurant a few months back. Went to a restaurant, sat down, got and was looking for the menu, and the guy, the waiter came to the table, and he pointed. We asked for a menu, but he said no. He pointed to the table, and at the very end of the table was a small little tiny QR code. So we had to open our phones, turn on the camera, scan the QR code, click the link, and then the menu popped up. So they're not even, a lot of restaurants are not even using, paper menus anymore. Those foldable menus. You just scan QR codes now. And that's what they're desensitizing people to do. Use digital means to buy and sell. You want to buy food at this restaurant, you're going to have some kind of digital technology in order to scan the menu, open it, and then choose what you want. So it's clear GMS is right. Okay? There's no indication in these last days that believing in John 3:16 is a sign of the mark of the beast. or that you believe it in your mind, and the actions you do with your hand, like it's a symbolic mark. No signs point to that as being the Motb. I don't know where Priest Bach got that from. He mentioned it, Bishop Nate years back said that that they do got chips, but they use it for pets to track dogs and cats. Meanwhile, in 2025, all kinds of technology is being developed that's actually putting microchips in humans. It's being pushed out there on a major level, and people are going to take it. It says here, Teague. Okay, so it says, let's see here. Okay, so it said the situation may soon improve, however, as an NSW government spokesperson tells ABC that a verifiable photo credential compliant with international standards is being piloted. So all your information is going to be on a digital database, your photo, your name, all of that. It'll be a digital ID. So that's it on that. So now the next thing is, now this is out of Malaysia. MyGov Malaysia app launches July for public services linked to My Digital ID. So they're pushing the digital ID, not just in Malawi or Australia. One is a country in Africa, one is Australia, one is this here is Malaysia, is in the Far East, and they're being pushed the digital ID to them. It says Malaysia will soon launch its digital gateway for government services. And you see how it's tied to the government, because the government are going to be the ones to issue the Motb. When you read Revelation 13, 16 on down, or you start at 15, the image of the beast. But then they're going to be in control of who gets what, who gets how much money, who gets what services. It'll all be tied through the government allowing you to live in their system, but that's only if you are tapped in to that said system. It says the MyGov Malaysia mobile app will launch in July, serving as the country's single digital platform for accessing public services. Here we go. This is part of the government's plan to transform Malaysia into a digital nation, said Digital Minister Gobind Singh Deo. It is only right to ensure we have a single platform where Malaysians can deal with various government agencies seamlessly. Well, don't they just have the internet? Why can't they just go online, go to the website, and do the application? Why does it have to be one single platform? Because it's leading up to the biometric implant. It's leading up to the Motb. It's leading up to where they're going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to comply and bow down to the image and receive that mark. It says the app will offer 7 main services. Passport applications. Oh, so if you want to go overseas, I'm talking to the Israelites out there, Jake. If you want to go overseas and get you, one of these women from Thailand or Taiwan or somewhere in Russia, right? Somewhere overseas. I'm just being funny. Then you're gonna eventually have to be tapped into digital ID. Okay? If you want to go and get your groove back, black woman like Stella, you're going to have to get a digital ID. So it says passport applications, driving license, and road tax renewals, birth and citizenship registration. And I've done videos where they're literally going to fingerprint your child, your baby. They're pushing out in South America. They want to push in Africa to basically when your child is born, instead of the paperwork and then sign the birth certificate and so forth. They're just going to take your child's, your newborn baby's fingerprints because they say it's unique, and then put them into a digital database in these hospitals, because these hospitals are also going digital, or you can use digital IDs. They're doing it in, I believe, Japan and also New York. Okay? So it says birth and citizenship registration. You want to register your child into a digital ID system. Medical appointments and records, summons, payments, land tax and assessment rates, and the Sambangan Tunai Rama, a cash assistance program. The app is part of the Malaysian government's GovTech initiative. So why are all these countries around the world setting this digital ID system up? Because it's not their idea, it's not their plan, it's the plan of the powers that be behind the scenes, the Edomites. Okay, here's another article here. Well, you know what? Let me get the scripture. Let's go to Revelation. Because y'all don't believe what GMS has been saying. So let's read Revelation 13. And I know you're still not going to believe after this, but this is just for edification's sake. Revelation 13:15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. They are now giving life to a new image, which is a digital, a national digital ID system put in place by different governments and countries around the world. They'll all be able to use their interoperability technology for the different citizens to be able to travel back and forth. All their credentials will be with them, eventually in an implant. But they're setting up the digital ID system all at one time. All these countries are doing this. All these countries are doing this at the same time, same process, pretty much. That's giving life to the image. It says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And if you eventually don't conform and you don't take if you don't conform and then you don't want to take the MOTB, then you're gonna be ostracized from society. You won't be able to eat, and then they're going to kill you. Okay. You had Donald Trump years ago talking about bringing guillotines back. And that was on legislation from out here in Georgia back in, 95. They're thinking about bringing back guillotines for executions. So it says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, and free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Oh, so now let me look this up, because also what's come out recently is RFK Jr., RFK Jr. said that they want to, he wants to introduce wearables to U.S. citizens by 2030. Okay, so this is from a day ago. Right, from Reuters. U.S. Health Secretary Kennedy says HHS to launch campaign to encourage wearable devices. Okay? Which wearable device is code for the microchip implant, the Motb. Because you're not going to just wear it. It's going to be embedded under your skin. From CNET, RFK Jr. wants all Americans to use wearables to track their health. What that means. RFK Jr. wants a wearable on your wrist. So we're in that time. It says for medical device makers, here it is from the New York Post, RFK Jr. wants every American to use wearable health data collecting technology. As if it's something that's not invasive and evil. No, this is going to set you up for that implant. And they're going to push that in a way that brings convenience. Okay? They say that this wearable is supposed to be for tracking your health. Well, we already got technology that tracks our health. The smartphone can track your heart rate and tell you when to, to walk and things like that. So we're in this time. Okay, the next step them is to just say, listen, we want to implant everybody. But there's also states. I put this out here too, that there's also states out there that want to there's legislation out there here in America that you got states that want to block different companies from implanting their employees with biometric microchips. But that's not going to come to full fruition because the prophecy says that they are going to make it happen. They are going to make that technology, the implantable technology, mandatory. Okay? So I looked this, let's go now here. Kyrgyzstan, June 23rd, 2025. More countries. Okay, let's look up Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan, a mountainous country in Central Asia on the northwestern border of China, population almost 5.9 million, almost 6 million. Official languages Kyrgyz and Russian since 2001. Capital is Bishkek. Okay, so that's Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan state printer wades into biometric passport market with Namibia deal. So, okay. So these countries, you see Chief Ephraim talking about I don't see these other countries doing what America's doing. And these countries are making deals with each other to set up the same digital systems. It says a shipment of 130,000 biometric passports has been sent from Kyrgyzstan to Namibia after a contract was signed between the African nation's government and national printing house Uchkun OJSC. The shipment was announced by Kyrgyz Presidential Chief of Staff Kanibek Tumanbayev. So there, once again, they're helping set Africa up with digital IDs. Kyrgyzstan began domestic production of its own passports in 2023 through Uchkun, the state printing house. President Sadir Japarov said the following year that the integrity of the country's passports and ID cards have been dramatically improved. And they speak Russian, so basically Russia is also going to push a digital ID, even though they're going to war with America. Because they're all trying to set their systems up at the same time, but they're going to come against each other. It says, and its involvement in the global market for passport issuance is reportedly growing. Kyrgyz national news agency Kabar reports that Ghana has also signed a Ghana, West Africa, Israelites over there in Ghana and West Africa. That's where the bulk of the slaves came from, to over here in the Caribbean islands in the U.S. to serve slavery. It says Kyrgyz national news agency Kabar reports that Ghana has also signed a biometric passport production agreement, and Motb says 4 more countries are on the verge of signing deals, because they're gonna, once these deals are in place, and let me read this. It says, but Hungary's Any Security Printing currently holds the contract for Ghana's chip-embedded passports. So what's stopping them from them using these deals to say, well, we'll help you get these implantable microchips in your country, instead of us shipping passports with chips in, and we'll just send you these biometric chip implants. And then they get hospitals and so forth to set up the distributing and the implantation, and there you go. Now these other countries will have the Motb. Kyrgyz national news agency Kabar reports that Ghana has also signed a biometric passport production agreement, and Motb says 4 more countries are on the verge of signing deals. But Hungary's Any Security Printing currently holds the contract for Ghana's chip-embedded passports, and printed nearly 32,000 of them in a month earlier this year. So imagine if they were just giving out these tiny rice grain implants. And you can give out way more than 32,000. So this is definitely a part of another step closer to the Motb prophecy being fulfilled and mandated. Because look at what they're doing. Look at their plans. Look at their agendas. This is Kyrgyzstan. They're doing deals with Namibia, Malaysia here. They got digital IDs. Australia, Malawi. Okay. This is Nepal. Nepal's biometric passport contract awarded to Wearables. Motb. I wonder if they got anything to do with the elites. That's their original name of the elites of Esau Rothschilds, is originally Bauer. So maybe that looks like a German word, right? Because they're German. Anyway, so Nepal is another country pushing biometric passport. So it's a strange thing that all of a sudden all these countries are now just coming up with a new system and using this digital ID system. And I've said this before, I believe they all got the memo around last year. All these different countries got the memo to start up different brain implant companies and to shift their country and their governments to digital ID systems. Just within the last year. Because what has to happen, the prophecies, right? The prophecies have to come quick. All right? The Lord said that he was going to shorten the days. But let me read this. Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. And the vision is speaking. The beast is speaking, the vision is speaking. The prophecies. And not lie. Though it tarry, right, though it linger, wait for it. Because it will surely come, it will not tarry. We told you that they were going to start pushing microchips and putting them in human bodies. And this didn't happen 10 years ago. There was no Neuralink 10 years ago. Okay? There wasn't no wallet more 10 years ago. But now we're seeing these things come to pass. So that means that the prophecy is speaking and not tarrying. Okay? Though it tarry, wait for it because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So that means you got to trust that these prophecies are manifesting themselves. Okay. I want to finish this out. But I've already gone long enough. So that was Nepal. Right? So, I mean, that's it on that. Let's go to this. Okay, yeah, that's it. I'm going to close out here. So you got Malawi, Australia, Malaysia, Kyrgyzstan, Nepal. All these countries are setting up for a digital ID system. Kyrgyzstan here, Nepal, Kyrgyzstan, Malaysia, Australia, right? Yep. And Malawi. So here at GMS, we're going to continue to stand upon our watch through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai and edify you with these articles and this information to show you that, we're definitely close to the end. So I'm going to close out. Our praises goes to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Kakudash. Once again, double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, a great millstone, the root well taught me this truth. Shalom to the 144,000, rest of the hopeful elect out there.